Money, 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 money. Money,
And we're back, and I've got Jenny and Kat here with me, and we're getting ready to do this Money in the Bank briefcase cash-in bracket, and this is going to be fun. On the theme of March Madness, we're getting ready to have the NCAA tournaments, and the big bracket busting, bracketology BS that goes on there. We're going to have our own brackets here as well, and the ladies have worked really hard on this. So I'll let the ladies take over from here and explain to you what's going on.
Define working hard. Just kidding.
I typed some names.
Harder than me.
I typed some names, super hard. Some names and dates.
Well, y'all come up with the idea. So you explain it to everybody. I'm only here for the ride. I'm only here to bust brackets. That's all I'm doing.
I mean, it's pretty straightforward. We've got every person. Well, not every person. I left a few people out of the cash-ins. Just we need an even number. I didn't put Asuka in it because she never technically cashed in.
Okay.
That was like a hidden Money in the Bank thing.
Right. Yeah. So because
they should have redid that match, but
I agree. I fully 100% agree with that. That they should have had another women's Money in the Bank ladder match.
I mean, if they're gonna redo Carmella's match because James Ellsworth technically won the first one, then they should definitely redone Asuka's.
Because then you could have had another person running around the briefcase giving Asuka crap, but they didn't do it. And I'll give it to them. COVID, whatever. But
I was gonna say that was beginning of the pandemic, so I think they were just like, "Oh my God, pandemic! Becky's pregnant. We need a champion, Asuka."
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
It's like I work there.
But we're gonna kind of judge it not so much on how they won the briefcase, but how their cash-ins went. That's going to be the deciding factor.
Judge it purely on cash-in experience, but also I feel like we should judge like their time, like if they had like time.
Right. Yes. Run is going to be a factor, but it's going to mostly be how the cash-in went. How?
Okay.
Okay. So if it's an unmemorable run and a cash-in, that's going to work against it, is what I'm understanding.
Yeah.
It could hurt it, yeah. Because like some of the one-nighters on the women's, because most of the women have cashed in the same night as Money in the Bank, and I just think that's kind of meh.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's going to hurt them, I think, in my opinion. It's not the deciding factor, but it's going to be a factor.
Okay, now was this now these seeds were randomly generated, I guess, right?
Yeah, I typed in all the names. I hit the randomize button like 5 or 6 times and just left it as how it was after the randomize button.
Don't take the numbers for what they are.
Right, okay. Yes, I didn't seed them. I let it randomly be generated.
Because I saw Shane doing that on his stream last night. He was just like, oh, this is number 1 seed. I was like, oh, wait, I don't think that's like what Jenny meant. I think Jenny just typed them in.
Yes, okay. I typed it and then randomized it a few times. I think I said I just clicked it like 5 times and just it was what it was. I didn't even go back and look at it until I think I sent it to you last night.
All right. Well, I'm down for that.
It's just completely random.
Completely random.
As you can see here, RVD got a bye, number 1 seed.
I think there's only like, depending on how it goes, but as far as first round, I think I only see like 1 where we might argue.
I mean, I think this whole first bracket right here is going to be our biggest discussion. Because Shame's already said that he was going to fight for Daniel Bryan and RVD. But we've already talked about Miz and Dolph going way far.
Yeah.
So now that I'm sitting here looking at it, I'm like, crap, we made this first round really hard right here.
Well, let's go ahead and get the obvious one out of the way right here.
Cena Dolph,
because Dolph Ziggler had one of the greatest cash-ins in,
if not the single greatest.
One of the greatest cash-ins, if not the single greatest cash-in in WWE history when he cashed in on Alberto Del Rio. Let's go ahead and put Dolph up against RVD in the 1 spot against RVD, and go ahead and move Dolph over.
Also, Dolph, I think, besides, again, Seth, but I honestly think Dolph had the biggest pop out of any of the ones we have on our list.
Right.
Yeah. It was.
I only say that because I just watched it, because I just watched like or a little over half of these. I watched all the successful ones. I didn't watch the non-successful cash-in list because we didn't have time.
Anyway, I can watch this moment all day for like a week and get chills every single time that crowd pops.
Honestly, me and Jenny have watched this on just chat just because it's a fucking Tuesday afternoon.
Right.
Or Tuesday at 3 in the morning.
Usually, yeah.
Afternoon is 3 in the morning for us.
Right.
See, and when I say obvious one, it's nothing against Cena in the 2012 cash-in. Cena's cash-in, he lost.
He failed, yeah.
He failed.
Yeah.
He failed his cash-in. He lost. He called out, I think it was Cena, was it Brock Lesnar?
Punk. I'm pretty sure it was Punk.
Was it Punk?
But
Okay,
Big
well,
Show
yeah.
interfered.
It was on one of those retro Raws or whatever they used to call it, old school Raws.
Okay.
Right? One of those things, wasn't it?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I remember it was like, I just couldn't remember who it was,
Raw's
but I know he lost.
1000th episode.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. It was Raw 1000. That's right. I knew it was one of those special edition Raws.
Because he called his shot like 2 weeks in advance and said he was going to do it here.
Yeah.
And he lost. Yeah.
Right.
So now the next one, Daniel Bryan versus Damian Sandow, you would think would be obvious, right? You'd think it'd be Daniel Bryan, but no. I argue that Damian Sandow's run, even though he lost to Cena, I argue that Damian Sandow's run with the briefcase was actually much more entertaining than Daniel Bryan's.
I kind of agree. Because that whole thing he had going on with Cody, and he had like the really cool leather briefcase that fit his character. And he was one of those ones where the run was better than the cash-in.
Yes, it was. The run was very much better than the cash-in.
I mean, he failed his cash-in going up against
Cena.
Yeah.
He failed it. And he done the same thing Cena did the year before. He called his shot, said he was going to go up against Cena and give Cena time to prepare, and Cena beat him. Or no, he didn't. No, he didn't. He just couldn't beat Cena. I think it's that.
I can't remember if that was.
I can't remember exactly.
I can't remember either.
I can't remember exactly, but Cena beat him.
I didn't watch Damian. I watched Daniel Bryan because Daniel Bryan was successful in his.
Yeah, that's where he.
Or Big Show.
It was Big Show. Yeah, it was Sheamus.
He had a match with Sheamus at Mania after that.
Yeah, right. That was the infamous kiss AJ. That was the infamous get some sugar from AJ and turn around and eat a boot from Sheamus. 17 seconds, you lose. That was what that was, and that's how Daniel Bryan's. We're just based off cash-in, but I mean,
we're just painting a picture for everyone.
Yeah, painting a picture for everyone. Daniel Bryan's cash-in, that was the Big Show had just lost that match to Mark Henry, and didn't Big Show get buried by chairs in that match, or right before Daniel Bryan come in, something to that effect?
Was a bunch of chairs in the ring because it was a chairs match at TLC against Mark Henry.
Yeah, that's what it was. And Daniel Bryan come in and I beat the Big Show after Big Show had done eat a bunch of chairs, which, I mean, for a heel, Daniel Bryan at the time was the right thing to do. But his run up with it, you just don't really remember Daniel Bryan's first run with the briefcase. You just don't.
Also, with Sandow, he was the first person to ever to not have a successful cash-in. I think that speaks for something.
Second. He was the second one to fail.
Yeah.
Cena was the first.
Cena was the first. Sandow was the second.
Well, they have their list wrong. Because on the WWE website it says he became the first superstar to flat out lose his cash-in match.
Well,
I just read a thing that said that he was the second.
They have it wrong in their list.
Yeah, they got back.
Well, they probably don't want to remind people that Cena ever lost something.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah,
it's literally, they have Cena failing cashing in at 18, and then 17 is Damian Sandow. So it's like literally right there, whoever's writing it.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
Maybe they said flat out lose because there was no interference.
Right.
Maybe
it was. But that's my argument for Damian Sandow going over Daniel Bryan on this run right here. That's my argument because Sandow's run championship was better. The highlight of that story being told with Cody Rhodes was when Cody Rhodes threw the damn briefcase into the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, that was so funny. And Damian Sandow damn near drowned that same night because he was in a riptide at like 11 o'clock at night looking for the damn briefcase.
So do we go with Sandow just because of the run?
I think I agree, Sandow.
Sandow?
Got 2 and 3. You got two of the three who are going Sandow.
It was greater.
Damian
All right.
Sandow actually winning something.
Samian Mandow. Damian Sandow. I can
Did you
speak.
give Dolph 2 points and then the rest 1 point?
No, I didn't mean to do it twice. I have to do points to make a move on. I thought I could just click his name, but I have to give him points.
All right, that's okay. So we got the first bracket out of the way. We'll do the second round here in just a minute.
That actually went a little easier than I thought it would.
Yeah, it's not hard. This is fun. I'm liking this. This is fun. Do we? Well, Jack Swagger versus Edge.
I say Edge.
Edge.
Yeah.
This is Edge's second go with the briefcase that he took from Mr. Kennedy.
Yeah, this is the one he took from Mr. Kennedy because Mr. Kennedy couldn't keep his mouth shut. So, and then you have Jack Swagger, who nobody even remembers him winning the world championship, and that
he had a very lackluster run as a champion.
Yeah, that tells you how much people cared about Jack Swagger. I've got to go Edge here because Edge is just a better storyteller. Period.
Yeah.
Plus, he cashed in on Undertaker, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I agree.
One of the only times you truly see Undertaker defeated.
I mean,
At least in that time.
We could almost end up with Edge versus Edge here because Corbin failed his cash in against Jinder Mahal. There was shenanigans because Cena helped.
There was shenanigans.
I do like Corbin's run though.
I don't remember his run.
Yeah, I do like Corbin's run with it. It wasn't as memorable as what Sandow's was, but he always reminded you he had the briefcase, and he always reminded you. And when he got close to cashing in, he started to hint around to Jinder he was going to cash in. And I think he derailed himself on that run with something he said on Twitter. And they said, WWE said, nope.
Yeah, Corbin did get in trouble backstage, and that's why his cash-in went the way it did. Because I think he was supposed to do it another time, but then they made him do it on SmackDown, is what I read.
They made him do it on SmackDown. And then going against Edge in his first Money in the Bank briefcase win. He's the very first winner of it.
Back when Money in the Bank was part of WrestleMania.
Yeah. He was the very first winner.
Jericho's idea, Edge wins.
If Jericho's idea, and Edge wins it.
Also cashed in on Cena.
Yep.
That makes it even better. It's Edge. When he cashes in, about anybody cashes in on Cena is going to win.
He's always the champion.
Yeah, right. He's always the champion. Yeah, and Cena screwed Corbin out of his cash in. But Edge is going to beat Corbin right there because it's Edge, and Edge tells such a great story. I think with everything he does, Edge just does a great job. That's why Edge is so revered and so loved even now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, anything Edge touches is good.
Yeah. Who we got next?
Okay, so Braun Strowman's the one where he was like, I don't want surprises. I'm cashing in a Hell in a Cell versus Roman, and then fucking Brock Lesnar comes out, busts down a fucking cage, and then wins.
No, it wasn't Hell in a Cell. It was
Oh, they had a Hell in a Cell match.
They had a Hell in a Cell match, but it was Saudi.
It was Crown Jewel.
Yeah, it was in Saudi.
Okay.
It was in Saudi.
Okay, I think the cell is what threw me off.
Was it a cell or was it a cage? Or am I thinking of a different cage match?
You're thinking of a different match.
I was to say it was red, so they usually only paint the Hell in a Cells.
Okay, so it was a cell. Okay, because I guess I'm thinking of that cage match where Roman speared Brock or something through it, and everyone was saying, "But the feet, the touching of the feet, and the escape, and it was a whole big thing." That's what I'm picturing.
I hate that rule. Make them. Somebody's got to win and lose in a damn steel cage match. They have to be pinned in the middle. I hate that rule.
I hate the door.
I hate that.
They need to take the door away. I want to see them climb or pin.
For an episode, is we could just talk about rules we don't agree with in WWE.
Yes.
Oh, there's lots of them I don't agree with.
I know, that's the thing. We could probably do a whole episode.
So we had Braun Strowman. We had Braun Strowman against Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss was a was a same night win and cash in. So we don't really get much of a story with Alexa Bliss.
But, I mean, it is kind of a story, though, because she had been building a bunch of stuff with Nia that entire year.
Yeah.
That's when they were doing, like, the whole bullying storyline.
They had been best
stuff.
friends, right? For a while?
Yeah, they had been best friends. Yep, they had been best friends.
But Nia finally won at Mania that year, and then was having a match with Ronda. And then Alexa comes back out that same night, which is very in character for Alexa, which is why, like, I wouldn't see okay, Fiend Alexa, I can see her having the briefcase and, like, really fucking with everyone. But Goddess Alexa, no, she's not wasting any fucking time. She's gonna cash in, and she did.
It was a really good cash in for being a same night. No build and
genuine, like, it's a shock.
Yeah, there was good build to it without her even having the briefcase. Like, there was just no run.
They already had the story told for them.
So, I mean, this is one of those ones where the cash in
happened to be champion
is definitely going to trump everything. So I almost say Alexa over Strowman.
Yeah, I'm feeling you, Alexa over Strowman. It would be two versus one anyway. But Alexa over Strowman. I will go that. I'll go that route because by all rights, Braun Strowman should have won his championship. He shouldn't even told anybody he should have won.
Braun was fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Agreed on that. But as far as cash in goes, I think Alexa Bliss.
The cash in was better than the run. And a failed cash in. Now, as much as everybody hated Lesnar winning Money in the Bank, I loved the run. And I hate... I'm going to say I don't hate Lesnar. I hate the push they give Lesnar sometimes. But his run with Money in the Briefcase was hysterical.
Money in the Briefcase?
Money in the Briefcase.
Yes. Money in the Bank briefcase.
There was Money in the Briefcase.
Okay, so this is just where I'm at. I'm pretty much going to go Brock because, one, I remember watching this Money in the Bank and texting or talking to Jenny about it, and I was fucking pissed because he just came out, pushed everyone off a ladder, climbed up, and won it, and he wasn't even fucking in the match.
Total Brock Lesnar style, by the way.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I'm pissed off, and Jenny's like, good, that's what they want you to
Right, it was one of those things where, like, they pissed you off, like his run at Rumble last year, where he was just dominating everybody, everyone was getting pissed, and, like,
it was part of the story, yeah.
Right, it was the perfect build, and that's kind of what Money in the Bank did, and him having the briefcase.
I think the briefcase also brought out some of Brock's, like, actual personality. He's not just a Jimmy John sandwich for a brain. He's, it brought out the funny side of him.
Boombox Brock will forever be one of my favorite Brocks.
Boombox Brock, yep.
So it pains me to say this, but I'm going Brock Lesnar.
All right,
I don't even want to talk about CM Punk. We didn't even talk about CM Punk. Fuck.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about CM Punk here. We didn't give CM Punk a chance.
I
mean, he gets another chance. He's on here again.
Yeah, this is...
Somewhere.
Okay, so this is his more significant one. Well, I guess, because he has CM Punk and was his 09 one? This is his later one?
This is, yes, his 09 one.
Okay, so it's on Raw, and he it's on Extreme Rules. He has two. He's back-to-back.
Yeah.
So this was at Extreme Rules on Jeff Hardy. Jeff fucking kicks out, so he has to do two go-to-sleeps to get him to win the heavyweight championship. I just think it's too, like, we're gonna see at least three more that look just like it.
Was this around the same time that Punk was having that really interesting feud with Jeff, though? That ended up with Jeff eventually leaving WWE? Was that later? I can't remember what year that was.
Yeah, this was right around the same time. Because he was, this is right around, this is just before Jeff left, I think. Because Jeff was in TNA not long after this.
I will hit up the Google machine.
The Google machine. Make sure we get our stories straight. Let's see. We've got one more.
Yeah, he left in 2009.
So he probably left right after this.
Yeah, it was. Jeff left not long after that.
I read the full history of the Hardys. There we go. I don't know about why he left. I mean, I know why he left, but
I know why he left too. It would definitely wasn't for money.
Substance abuse issues.
Yeah, it's substance abuse issues.
But yeah, he left in 2009, so somewhere in the same year. Well, I mean, okay, this is when I guess Punk won it and cashed it in the same year. Because
yeah.
So I mean, are we going to go for the run or the cash in this time? Because Lesnar ended up cashing in on Rollins, right?
Yeah.
Brock?
Or did he
cashed in on... Well, hold on. Who did he cash in on? Fuck. They don't have Brock on their list, which is very shocking.
No, I can't remember who he cashed in on. Or was that the day SmackDown debuted? Was that his cash in when he beat Kofi?
That's what I was thinking. It's when he beat Kofi.
Because I know Kofi and Seth were both the champs.
I think that's when he beat Kofi, and he took the championship back to Raw.
Oh, that's right, because then they flip-flopped the belts.
Right, they flip-flopped the champions.
That's right. So they must have used his Money in the Bank cash in on that inaugural SmackDown.
Yeah. That's when they flip-flopped the champions. It's when he beat Kofi in 8 seconds on SmackDown, which pissed everybody off because I feel like Kofi should have had a little bit better defense. I don't mind him losing to Brock Lesnar. Chances are he would have lost to Brock Lesnar, but 8 seconds didn't sit well with me then. It definitely don't sit well with me
I don't
now.
think we're right on that.
No, I don't think we are either.
I don't know.
No.
Yeah, he cashed in on Seth for Universal Championship, and Seth turned around and beat him at Mania for it.
Okay, no, he did. Yeah, he cashed in on Seth at Extreme Rules.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he defeated Seth Rollins to win the Universal Championship. Rollins had teamed with Becky Lynch in a victory over Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans in the main event.
Yep.
He had very little time
he cashed in during that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He cashed in. Clusterfuck. So Brock Lesnar cashes in on Seth Rollins after a hard-fought mixed tag with Becky Lynch at Extreme Rules.
I remember that match where Becky took an end of days and the internet exploded.
Yeah, internet
it
lost
was
their mind. Yeah.
so good, though.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
I loved it.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
I like a little bit of that thrown in every now and then.
If Becky wasn't down, Becky wouldn't have done it.
Right.
But that's an argument for a different day.
And I mean, it did perfect shit for Corbs, too.
Oh,
I mean,
God,
anytime
yeah,
Corbs can do stuff like that, it just cements his heel character that he will never be face. Ever.
Yeah. Baron Corbin will never be a baby.
He could save a sack of puppies from drowning in a river, and people would still hate this man.
They would. And to be fair, he has saved animals before.
Well, yes, but I'm saying, like, on TV, though. On TV, though, they could, like, do some, like, fake thing publicly and try to turn him into, like, a superhero, and people would still boo the man.
So, I'm going Brock Lesnar.
I'm going Brock Lesnar, too.
Brock Lesnar, yeah. Just because of Boombox Lesnar.
Boombox Lesnar. God, I'm so glad I got to see that live.
All right, so...
Mella and Kane.
Yeah, Carmella and Kane. Kane was Kane was the same night cash-in.
Yeah, I think he has the fastest cash-in of all time.
Mm-hmm, he does.
For under an hour.
Yep, under an hour. He has the fastest cash-in of all time. Kane has it, and which fits Kane's character. Kane wasn't going to pack that thing around anyway. That's just who Kane is. Kane wouldn't pack it around anyway. And then Carmella had a great run with the...
I was going to say, she had a really good run, and then her cash-in had a lot going on because it was the debut of the Iconics, and the Iconics beat up Charlotte, and then Mella's money hit. Or
beat up Charlotte Flair.
Mella's money hits. Yeah. So it's like, it's really... I think Mella's weighs heavier just because she had a good run, because she had a lot of fake cash-ins too.
Well, she had James Ellsworth pretty much doing everything for her too. She had
that was her
James
character.
was her simp. Yeah, James was her simp.
Oh, totally.
So, oh God, yeah. James Ellsworth was doing everything for her. Yeah, it was. It was perfect for what she was definitely doing. And
honestly, though, for Kane, it's and Kane's character also to like not waste any time and get shit done.
Right.
Yeah,
but we're really going against a great cash-in versus a good run and a good cash-in.
Yeah, that's what we're going up against. It's got to be Carmella here because Carmella had such a memorable run with it.
And it was such a good pop.
Because of James Ellsworth, by the way.
Only good run.
She dropped James Ellsworth so shortly after that, though.
She did. Yeah, she did. Dropped him like a hot tater.
She's had the only good women's run, though. So, I mean, I think she's got to get some credit for that, too.
She does.
She's the only one to not cash in the night of Money in the Bank.
Right.
But I know
No, but then
technically
just put her against Bailey. I don't like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
that's going to be a good debate, though.
Yep. We're going to have a good debate with that one.
All right, so we're picking Mella.
Mella. And the last one in the first round, possibly the greatest cash-in of all time, Seth Rollins versus Alberto Del Rio in 2011.
Way to set that one up.
Yeah.
The greatest cash-in of all
Possibly
time.
the greatest cash-in of all time. The only one ever at WrestleMania.
And it was just it was such a big turn.
It was. It really was. That will forever make Seth Rollins. That moment will forever make Seth Rollins.
Oh, so there's going to be video packages 50 years down the road about Seth Rollins, and he's going to be swinging that belt over his head on the Mania stage.
Yep. He will.
That image will be with him forever.
Forever.
And then Del Rio, it wasn't as memorable because he cashes in on CM Punk. Yeah.
I always forget that Del Rio was a Money in the Bank winner, to be honest.
Well,
the only time I remember Del Rio and Money in the Bank is because Dolph cashed in on him.
Right. I forget that he had it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're going Rollins.
Yeah, we're going Rollins on that one. And remember, this is randomly generated. Randomly generated.
Rollins versus Ambrose.
This is going to be a good bottom bracket down here.
Yeah, it's going to be a good bottom bracket down there.
Let's go back up here.
Oh my god.
Second round is going to be good. Second round is going to be really good.
Oh my god, starting off with RVD versus Dolph.
All right. Now,
y'all know my pick. I'm just going to sit back and listen to you.
Okay. So I'm going to have to fight for RVD on this one because if you watch the way he won it at the One Night Stand pay-per-view, the ECW One Night Stand pay-per-view, if you don't remember what that was the night that Blue Meanie got his nose broke by JBL in a real fight. The crowd was absolutely insane. We're going off of two absolutely insane crowds for two totally different reasons right here.
Yeah, but we're going off a cash-in, not when they won, though.
This is a cash-in. This is RVD's cash-in.
But you're just talking about how he won it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying, though. This is how his cash-in come along. He made Cena defend it in Philadelphia at basically a home game for ECW. A home game for RVD, and the crowd was absolutely losing their minds for this match. And when he won it, he went up to the crowd to celebrate with everybody. Blue Meanie gets his damn nose broke. It's insane. The atmosphere when RVD cashed in and won was absolutely insane.
And then, I mean, of course you have, refs out, and then Paul Heyman comes out.
Paul Heyman comes out. Yeah.
But Dolph.
But then you have the cash-in of Dolph Ziggler, one of the greatest pops of all time.
When you think Money in the Bank cash-ins, you either think of Seth Rollins or you think of Dolph Ziggler.
And honestly, I think Dolph's run was better. Because that guy tried to cash in.
Of fake cash-ins, a lengthy time. It's everything you want in a Money in the Bank briefcase holder, and everything. It's literally it's literally the definition of a Money in the Bank briefcase holder.
Right, he had, I think, one of the best runs, and then they kind of started giving up on Money in the Bank. Seth's was okay. He had a bunch of shit with Dean Ambrose with his briefcase. But still...
I'll say Seth goes in later, and that's why the bottom bracket's going to be different, is because Dean wins Money in the Bank the next year, and then gets back on Seth for getting on Roman. But I think Dolph, this is... Even if we can't really take this into consideration, but think of what it did for Dolph after, too. So,
and
I just think run and cash in alone, Dolph.
And that's what I was going to say too. I'm play devil's advocate here a little bit. In memorable Money in the Bank cash-ins, you just said it. You remember Rollins, you remember Dolph. You don't exactly remember RVD's, even though it was great. You don't exactly remember. It's not the first thing to roll off your tongue.
When I see someone cash in their Money in the Bank briefcase, I want to see it bent to hell that it almost doesn't close. Because I want to see that thing having been kicked and punted around because of failed cash-ins or just whatever the case may be. And that's how Dolph's briefcase looked at the end of his run.
Oh, he beat the piss out of people with it.
Well, then that thing got kicked, and just whatever, because he kept trying to cash in on Sheamus, I think, for a long time when he was champion, and then finally Del Rio became champion. That thing was beat all to hell.
So it's not going to make a difference now because you two are going with Dolph.
Yep.
But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna fight for RVD. I'm gonna fight for RVD to the bitter end on this. I'm going with RVD, but it doesn't matter. Y'all are going with Dolph.
It's 2-1 on this one.
It's majority rules.
Majority rules. Yep.
Majority rules. But just so you know,
if Dolph isn't in the final two, I'd be shocked.
He's at least going to make the final four, at least, but probably.
Well, I mean, he is in the final four. Wait.
Not yet.
Yeah. Okay. I only see the top part of it, so.
All right, so we've got Ms. Dow back together again. Damien Sandow and his run versus his run and successful cash-in.
Okay, so Miz, because we already talked about Sandow. Miz, he kind of was the buyer's remorse for putting it on Otis. Them not knowing what the fuck to do with Otis, so then they smartened up, put it on Miz. And it was a genuine shock to everyone. No one knew that he was about to cash in.
I mean, I think modern day Miz has the best run with a briefcase.
Yeah.
Because it gives everything that I just said. That briefcase was beat to hell.
I was going to say, he had a lot of fake cash-ins.
Fake cash-ins, right.
In a very Miz fashion, he used his lawyers and, his, very Miz-like things to get that back. Because technically, he had cash-ins.
Right, he failed a cash-in, but because Morrison did it, he gets it back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just think the games of it are perfect.
Yeah, he might be.
If that puts Miz versus Dolph, and I don't like it.
Yeah, he might be the first. He might be the first winner to have a failed cash-in and a successful cash-in in the same run.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with Miz only because his cash-in was successful.
Yeah, we got to give Miz this one.
Mm-hmm.
You had a good run, Sandow.
Yeah, had a good run, Sandow.
But you're back to being the stunt double.
Yep.
All right, Punk and Edge.
CM Punk of 2008 and Edge of 2007. Boy, that's an interesting one there.
Hold on. I liked CM Punk's because 07 Edge, that's the one against Undertaker.
Yep.
But then the 08 Punk, or I have 09 because that's when he cashed in.
Yeah.
It was at Extreme Rules. Or no, wait. Did I do this wrong? Wait, which CM Punk is this?
Not the Jeff Hardy one.
Not the Jeff Hardy one.
We already discussed that one.
I have it backwards. Okay, so CM Punk on Edge at Raw. Batista kicked Edge's ass. Then CM Punk comes out, gives Batista the look, cashes in on Edge. I just think there's more of a story in CM Punk's.
For the second, or his first go with it.
Yeah. I mean, technically for both of them, it's their second, never mind. I keep getting confused.
This is Punk's first, Edge's second we're going up against.
Okay.
Yep.
I think I just like seeing, I don't know, because Edge cashed in on Undertaker for this one too, so it's like.
I mean, do you think the run and the cash-in for Punk was better? Versus just the cash-in, being against Taker?
I think I'm going to go CM Punk.
Because you got to remember, this was a stolen briefcase for Edge, because he took it from Mr. Kennedy.
Yep, this is actually Mr. Kennedy's briefcase.
So we're going to go Punk for this one?
Yeah, I'll go Punk.
Punk, okay. Because Edge still has another go.
Yeah, I think that's also what's holding me back, is that, honestly, it probably would have ended up Edge versus Edge if we had picked Edge.
Because we could still end up with Edge versus Punk again. because let's discuss Edge and Orton now. This is Edge's first go.
And this is the only run that Randy Orton had in 2013. That
he cashed in on Daniel Bryan.
Cashed in on Daniel Bryan. That was
SummerSlam.
At SummerSlam. That was the Triple H kicking Daniel Bryan in the nuts and pedigreeing him, and Orton just coming in and pinning him.
Yeah, Randy Orton comes out, holds it up like he's gonna cash in, like, I still got this motherfucker. Turns around, Triple H, nuts, pedigree, and then Randy Orton cashes in.
Yeah, and I remember the run, and it was just kind of just Randy Orton doing Randy Orton stuff, except with the briefcase. He really didn't do anything too outrageous. He did fake a couple of cash-ins, but that's normal stuff. But I do remember the run that Orton had with it. It was just Randy Orton. And it's what Randy Orton always does. The same thing he always does. He used the briefcase on a couple of people, but it's what Randy Orton does.
I just think Edge's first Money in the Bank run had more of an impact than.
Yeah, I think it did too, because he did cash in on the Undertaker. And who has balls enough to cash in on the Undertaker other than Edge?
I don't think that's the Undertaker one.
Is that
this one was on Cena?
Oh, that one's on Cena. Okay, well, yeah, put Edge through because he cashed in on Cena.
It's the inaugural run.
But then this also has the Mr. McMahon tie-in of Mr. McMahon saying prove me right to Edge.
Yeah, this is what really built Edge, I feel, as a solo competitor.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that was that was go grab the brass ring, young man, basically, Edge.
The Orton one was lackluster because he had so much help. He didn't really earn it. I'm going with Edge.
Yeah, Orton was a lot like what Seth Rollins was as far as his run goes. It was kind of just given to him until WrestleMania night. Everything was just given to him. Yeah, we'll go with Edge on that one. Edge 2005.
All right, Miz's first run versus Alexa Bliss.
Okay, I'm conflicted.
I'm not really conflicted. Miz's first run with the championship, first run with Money in the Bank, him and Alex Riley. This is a common theme with the Miz. Miz has always got to have somebody watching his back, right? So he had Alex Riley basically 10 years ago watching his back. And Alex Riley was doing all the dirty work while Miz just sat back with the briefcase and and was just biding his time. And it was Randy Orton he cashed in on, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Randy Orton.
And this is where we got Angry Miz Girl.
Yeah, Angry Miz Girl. Yeah, this is Angry Miz Girl. But the what really come out of this was afterwards, after he cashed in on Randy, the feud that him and Cena had all the way up until WrestleMania was one of the better feuds that you'll see during that time. But Miz's run with the briefcase plus the cash in and Angry Miz Girl, I think is going to be Miss Alexa's 1 hour cash in.
Yeah, I think the run with the briefcase is going to have to probably be what puts him all over Alexa in a same night cash in.
Yeah.
Kat, do you agree?
Yeah, and then it was kind of just to go with the other cash in that he has, for it to be almost exactly 10 years later.
Right.
Yeah.
Third one
also,
is.
It made him, the second cash in made him the only second all-around Grand Slam champion.
Right. That's insane.
And it's crazy to think about that, too. Miz is a champion in 2021. Wow.
All right. Brock versus Sheamus.
The Sheamus cash-in was on Roman Reigns. And that was on Roman. And if you don't remember that one, that was where he called Roman 515 because that's how long Roman had the championship before Sheamus beat him for it. Was 5 minutes and 15 seconds.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. It was a typical Sheamus cash in. Roman almost had him, and then Sheamus kicked his head off, and 1, 2, 3. Don't remember much about the run though, and that plays into this.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember his run.
Yeah, I don't remember much about the run. I remember the outcome, but I don't remember much about the run. So if I don't remember the run, and I watched everything through 2015. I watched everything for like the last decade. So if I don't remember the run, that should tell you something about it.
This is about a year before I really fully got back into watching. But I've gone back and watched 2015. And like I remember it a little bit, but not as much as, I mean, I know Brock's is a lot more current, but Brock's was definitely a lot more memorable. But I feel like in 5 years, I will still remember Brock's.
Yes, yeah.
Versus 5 years later, I don't remember Sheamus's.
Yeah, you always remember. I think everybody remember Brock's run because everybody hates Brock anyway. But Boombox Brock is, gosh, some classic stuff. So I'm going Brock on this one.
Yeah.
I agree, Brock.
Brock, okay. So we're unanimous on Brock. There's something I never thought I'd say.
Me neither.
All right. Baymella.
Baymella.
Fuck.
Break Cadillac's heart.
I know.
I know.
So on one hand, you've got Bayley and her uncharacteristic same-night cash-in, and you've got Mella with her run. Both had successful cash-ins.
Bayley's cash-in, though. One, she's like the most Grand Slam champion ever, besides winning the Rumble.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see, and this last cash-in was significant. The Bayley cash-in was significant because it was really the spark of her heel character we know today.
Yeah.
It was significant.
It was a true shock because I remember I cried twice that night, and our buddy Chris made fun of me because I cried when Bayley won, and then I cried when she cashed in.
See, I think I came in mid-cry because I wasn't in the chat for other reasons.
Yeah, Jenny was like, wait, what happened?
Yep.
And Kat's like, hi. She's still sobbing. It had been like 20 minutes since the match had happened. I kind of want to go Bayley. Just because, I mean, she beat Charlotte. That's like beating Cena.
But so did Carmella.
I guess that is true, she did. But Mella had help.
Mella had help through that entire run. That was the great thing about that Mella run.
But that's part of Carmella as a heel. What heel truly didn't have someone by their side?
That's true.
Yeah, that was Carmella's run with that Money in the Bank briefcase is right up there with like the Miz.
Yeah.
The Miz, like in this year, this is just this past year, it was right there as entertaining as it was because her simp did everything for her. James Ellsworth did everything. He climbed the ladder.
He dressed as Asuka.
Yeah, he's dressed as Asuka. He did everything. He did everything he could for that girl, and he was in the friend zone the entire time. She used him like Twitch thought she uses their simps. She absolutely used him. But
think about heels back in the day for women. That's what they did.
That's what they did, exactly. And I don't feel bad for James Ellsworth because, one, he made a nice paycheck out of it, even though he did look like a simp on national TV. But, yeah, she used and abused him.
I think that's why I liked the Carmella Ellsworth run because it reminded me of like the old school female valets and the stuff that they used to do, but they had Ellsworth doing it. It was such a great role reversal. Yeah,
it was very good role reversal, and he was such a little son of a bitch doing it too. He's such a little son of a bitch. That's why I'm going with Carmella.
Yeah, I'm going Mella now. I've changed my mind. Kat?
I mean,
I'm sorry.
I mean, we know the Bayley one,
but now because y'all both did, so it's fine.
But you were kind of going for it. You're too conflicted. You can't choose, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so we'll pick Mella for you.
Go Mella.
I would like to see current Bayley win Money in the Bank this year, just because I think she could be so annoying with it. It would be great.
Oh my God,
it'd be so good.
Especially with her ding dong hello with the Money in the Bank. Oh my God.
She'd be so annoying.
She'd shove it in everyone's face, and I would love it.
Last match at the second round.
It'll be great. Okay, Rollins and Ambrose. And we've already kind of discussed Rollins, so let's discuss Ambrose.
Ambrose cashes in on Rollins.
Same night.
Same night, right?
Yeah, same night, which is very character-like for him. So for Bailey, it wasn't in her. It didn't seem like in her character at the time because she hadn't turned heel yet.
No, that was a spark of her heel character. That was when that was when Bailey decided she wasn't going to take any more crap. Was that night? And you could see the transformation. Yeah, you could see the transformation after that. After she cashed in, you could start to see the transformation slowly but surely. She was working up to who she's become now.
But
I like also the story behind Seth Rollins kind of breaks up the Shield, basically, and cashes in on Roman and Brock. But then the very next year, Dean cashes in on Seth as like a revenge for his brother.
All right, so let's talk about Ambrose's run with the championship. What did it lead to? Since we don't have a run, actually, we don't have a run with the briefcase. What did this championship lead to?
A really good match with Dolph. But this is what I started watching, so I kind of remember some of this.
Mm-hmm.
But
also this set up Ambrose right before the brand split to be like the face of SmackDown.
Yeah,
right. That's what I was just about to say. He was the face of SmackDown because the brand split happened while he was champ.
It happened right after this.
Yeah, it did happen right after that. Yeah, it did happen right after that. But here's the thing: I can't ignore the iconic Seth Rollins twirling the belt over his head at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
Seth's cash-in is way better.
Yeah,
again, like I said with Dolph, when you think of Money in the Bank cash-ins, you think Seth or Dolph.
Right.
Yep.
All right. So Seth.
And going Seth. So now we're getting into the nitty-gritty. Here's some.
I don't like it.
We're getting into the nitty-gritty now.
This was easy the first round. Now it's hard, and I don't like it. I want to go home.
Dolph versus Miz, this year's Miz, 2020 Miz.
Dolph. I don't want to talk about it, Dolph.
I know what Jenny's going to say. So yeah, go ahead and say Dolph.
I mean, this one's pretty evenly matched, but I think Dolph
really
just has a little bit more to it because people were excited for Dolph's cash-in.
Yeah.
I just think Dolph's iconic run for it supersedes anything the Miz did.
Yeah.
Right, for this recent one. Which I mean, we didn't really get much of Miz because we got as much as we could.
I say for the short amount of time that he did have it, it was good.
Yeah.
But also there was that buildup of trying to take it from Otis too.
Right. No, I'm counting that as him having it.
Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah, that's part of the build-up to it. Yeah.
It was great. All right.
Dolph had the greatest.
Punk and Edge round 2.
This is both of their first ones?
Yes.
Fuck. Okay. Let me go back to my notes.
Yeah, this one's gonna be tough. This one right here might be the toughest one. Well, I don't know. I'm looking at another one that's gonna be really tough.
So this one's the CM Punk on Edge, and then Edge on Cena.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure I'm looking at the right matches now. Fuck. I'm gonna go Edge just because it defined his character more.
I think it definitely benefited Edge more because Punk was already pretty established by the time he won this. But I mean, was Edge rated R yet in 2005?
No.
Yeah.
No. So I mean, I think this is what built all that.
Wait.
It's where he got the ultimate opportunist.
Yeah.
Moniker and just this is what made Edge as a sole competitor, in my opinion.
Yeah. It really
he had
did.
rated R Superstar on his gear.
So he was rated R by this point.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. I haven't watched this far. Okay, so this was still then, but this is still what gave him that ultimate opportunist moniker. So I haven't watched this period very much yet. I'm still working on it. Between
I'm just looking at a
3
picture
and
I
8.
can see on his tights it says rated R Superstar and he has the star while he's pinning Cena.
Probably gonna go.
Oh fuck! But that gives us Dolph versus Edge.
I'm gonna go CM Punk.
Crap, so I gotta be the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
I have to go Edge though, because like I said, I think it really cemented it. Because like he had IC title runs. Was this his first world title run when he cashed in Money in the Bank?
I want to say yes.
I feel like it was, but I can't remember. That's it. I think this is
Yeah,
what.
his first WWE title.
Yeah. So yeah, this is what gave us Edge as we know him today. So I have to go Edge.
But then it also gave us Dolph as we know it today, and
all right,
it's gonna be a hard pick. I'm not ready for the next round, just because of that.
Let's get through this round first.
Yeah, let's get through this round first, and here we go. Miz, his first run against Boombox Lesnar.
I almost kind of had to go Miz with this one, just because, just for the same reason we gave it to Edge. This cemented Miz.
Yeah,
this was his first world title run, and just stuff like that. Versus Brock's Brock.
Yeah, Brock's been Brock at this point.
Brock didn't need it. Miz needed it.
Yeah, Miz needed it to become Miz of today. So it meant more to Miz than it did to Brock. So I'm going to go with Miz in it on this one, too.
Okay. And we know Kat will go with Miz.
I said Miz.
Oh, I didn't hear you say Miz. Sorry.
She said Miz.
And
Carmella versus Seth Rollins.
I still got to go Rollins just for the cash in.
I got to go Rollins because of the cash in. The cash in supersedes the entire. I shouldn't say supersedes. It's just more iconic than Carmella's run, because what are you going to remember 10 years from now, 15 years from now? You're going to remember Seth Rollins.
For Carmella's, though, because it was a significant one for the women.
It was very significant for the women. It was very significant for the women, but it wasn't done at WrestleMania. And that's why everybody remembers.
It was done to SmackDown after Mania, which is just as big.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true.
And plus, we had the pop of the new debut of the Iconics, which which was already a huge pop. Carmella comes out, beats up Charlotte, which already gets you a pop because everyone hates Charlotte.
Yep.
And then Carmella wins, and it's a very emotional moment. And then she drops Ellsworth right afterwards, which makes us all emotional again.
Just too many emotions in it.
Get out of here, simp.
And then, but Rollins, it was probably one of the biggest, not the biggest heel turns, but like heel turn with the cash in. As far as like the Shield was like so over.
Yeah.
And no one knew except for Rollins and McMahon that he was cashing in.
Yeah, Rollins sold his soul to the devil. And it's like you said, nobody knew he was cashing in until it happened.
But I want to go Carmella.
Ooh, a little bit of an upset. I'm going to go Rollins.
Oh, why do I keep having to be the tiebreaker?
Because it is what it is.
I'm going to still have to go Seth, just because main event of Mania is just, it's a step up of a bigger thing than the SmackDown after Mania. I think we've got so many good more women moments to come that people will eventually, unfortunately, forget about Carmella's run. I hope not, but I see it happening. Hopefully they start doing better with women in the briefcase, because they need to. I know it's still new, but
yeah, they do need to do better with the women in the briefcase. They really do.
All right, Dolph and Edge.
Nitty gritty. Here we go.
This is
our finals.
This is our final four.
Guys, it's gonna come down to Dolph versus Rollins.
It is, and I've known that since I built this thing.
Yeah, it's gonna come down. Yeah, Dolph's cash in was just way more memorable than Edge's. Even though Edge had the Edge.
I don't know. It's both of them. They're very like. Honestly, there's not much that is different between the two of them because they both define them for their features. The only difference is if we thought Edge's was over, and so he got to be a WWE Hall of Fame. I bet if Dolph Ziggler was to retire tomorrow, God, I hope that doesn't happen.
He has to get through this tag title run.
Yeah, I know, but he'd be in the Hall of Fame this next year if it were to happen.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know. I don't see them putting him in that fast, but that's just because that's the WWE when it comes to Dolph.
I don't think they're gonna fuck with him the way that they fuck with Christian.
Yeah, they've kind of done Christian dirty.
I think Christian kind of likes it though.
Yeah, I think he does too.
He has the most appearances on the WWE Network shows.
Mm-hmm.
Without being... Okay.
Doesn't the first Edge run, didn't he hold it the longest, and that still stands? Isn't Dolph like the second longest, or maybe third longest?
Edge held on to it damn near till the last minute. Edge held on to it almost the entire year, almost until Mania.
Because I know at least at one point Dolph was second, but someone might have beat him for second for longest held. I can't remember.
I know. Well, Seth held on to it for a long time too.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I can't remember if Seth got him by like a day or something, but
yeah, Seth held on to it for a long time because whenever Seth wanted Money in the Bank come after WrestleMania, whenever Edge wanted it, it was held at Mania. So when Seth cashed it in at Mania, I think he had, I think he was within like 30 or 45 to 30 days of actually it going null and void.
Because I think Money in the Bank's usually held like May, June.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact, the very first Money in the Bank solo pay-per-view, or I say solo pay-per-view, like standalone pay-per-view, that's what I'm looking for, was held here, and we have not had a pay-per-view here since. It's been 11 years since we've had a pay-per-view in my city.
It's because Vince don't like your city.
No, he doesn't.
Okay, so it goes... Edge had it 280 days. Seth Rollins had it 273 days.
Ooh.
Dolph had it 267 days.
See, I knew Seth got him by just a few days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so who are we moving through? Dolph? Is that what we decided?
Yes.
I'm going to say Edge, just be different, but I know Dolph's going through.
I just think Dolph, just because I think with time, the way Money in the Bank grew, I think it just did more for Dolph to carry it than what they had Edge do. That's just time and, first versus X amount of years down the road. But,
yeah.
All right. Seth and Miz.
Seth.
Old Miz, yeah.
This is Miz's first
Miz's first run. Miz's first run, as great as it was, I'm still going Seth.
It's like Seth definitely had a better cash in, but I just feel like it did more for Miz as a character.
That's kind of where I'm leaning towards.
But now,
where Miz's run was greater than his cash in, but Seth's cash in was greater than his run.
Was this Rollins' first championship too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ew, okay, that kind of hurts my point then.
Okay, hold on.
Because Seth was in a good spot, like main event. He was working with the Authority. Because he'd already screwed over the Shield.
I hear keys tapping.
Shut up.
Cadillac's Googling. Oh, this one's hard.
Well, I'm going Rollins because it is the more iconic of the two, and iconic wrestling is for moments, and how much more of an iconic moment can you get at WrestleMania?
See, I think
cashing in a briefcase at Mania.
As far as
there's much more iconic, much more of a moment than you get than that.
Right. As far as like the Money in the Bank part of it goes, I think Rollins' cash-in was better. But then for Miz, it was the match with Cena when he was already champ that was good for him.
Yeah.
That came after his cash-in.
Came after the cash-in.
So when we're talking just cash-ins, I think I might have to go Rollins.
And that's just my train of thought.
Because, really, the cash-in didn't... obviously the cash-in got Miz's first title, but it was winning that match against Cena at Mania that really cemented Miz.
Mm-hmm.
But that part has nothing... it has something to do with the cash-in, but it came later that I just felt like I can't, connect the two completely.
Yeah, it was Miz's run with Cena that really... he got a great Money in the Bank run. Don't get me wrong, but it was his run with Cena after he already won the championship.
Right.
It was the run he had with Cena leading up into WrestleMania that really got Miz over in the eyes of the crowd.
Right.
And not long after that, he become a pretty solid babyface after that, too.
So I think just for the fact that Rollins' cash-in was so much more significant, versus like the feuds that came later for Miz, I think I might have to lean towards Rollins. What are you thinking, Kat?
I said I'm going Miz.
Are you going Miz?
Yeah.
Oh, it's hard, but I think I do have to go Rollins too. So that's 2-1 Rollins, right?
3-1 Rollins. Only because of the moment the cash in happened. Only because of the moment, and it's nothing against Miz's run. I think Miz's run was that first run he had the briefcase was as good as any you'll ever see. It's just the moment Rollins cashed in made it, and now we have come to the finals. And Dolph in 2012, his cash in on Alberto Del Rio, the large pop that he got versus. We've got two moments right here. Two very iconic moments in WWE history. One just happens to be at WrestleMania.
But Dolph was Raw after Mania.
Yes, it was Raw after Mania. Dolph cashed in. So it wasn't like it was. I mean, that Raw after Mania is the second biggest show of the year.
Yeah.
In my opinion, Raw after Mania is the second biggest show of the year.
Yeah.
I agree.
Because it resets everything.
Yep, that's the start of the new year.
Mm-hmm. Raw after Mania is it's the second most important show of the year, right behind WrestleMania.
Like WrestleMania is kind of like New Year's Eve. The Raw after is New Year's Day. You're finishing up your shit, and then you're starting it fresh with whatever happened from the night before.
Okay, so I'm going to take the WrestleMania moment out of it for Rollins. I'm going to take the WrestleMania moment out of it for Rollins. I'm going to judge it by run and by reception.
I was going to say, I think if you take... Well, okay, if we're taking reception into it, I mean, that cemented Seth Rollins as a heel.
Mm-hmm.
They call it the heist of the century.
Well, if you heard the Mania crowd, they loved it. Because
I heard it. I watched it.
It's totally unexpected. Totally unexpected. And that's why people loved it, because it was how unexpected it was. In the middle of a match, it's never been done before.
Right.
And yeah, it's never been done in the middle of a match before. That's unprecedented. Even now, nobody's done it in the middle of a match. They've always waited to the end. So, turning the WrestleMania main event into a triple threat, and then
technically, Mrs. Fake cash in this year, he made it like a triple threat.
Yeah, he did, and the fake cash in he did, and that's why Drew held on before, because it was the Johnny Drip Drip cash in, which doesn't count. That's why Drew held on to it before the first cash in.
Silly Johnny Drip Drip.
Mm-hmm. It's a tough one, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. It's tough. Because I remember both of them vividly. That's how tough this is, because I remember both of them very vividly, because of really both of them are. This is probably the two greatest to me, it's the two greatest cash-ins of all time.
Agreed.
As in, we really had no surprises coming down with these two at the end.
No, never. We didn't.
But we got to have a good conversation along the way.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the whole point of it, is to have a good conversation.
Yeah. So with that being said, I'm gonna go Rollins, because the triple threat nobody's ever cashed in the middle of a match before.
I'm going Dolph. Dolph set the expectation of kind of what we expect from a Money in the Bank contract winner.
You're correct on that. I can live with that. It's so if Jenny goes Dolph, which I think she's going to anyway.
I think he had the better run.
I can live with that. Yeah, he might have had a better run. Yeah, I can live with that.
And I know his match a little bit better than the Rollins triple threat with Brock and Roman, but because he almost loses that match like 3 times. Yeah. Against Del Rio. And that just made it such a good match, and the fire of the crowd during that match. I think the venue helped a little bit, not being outdoors, that you could really feel the crowd for Dolph's match versus the triple threat. Which is, it's just so good, and it was so good for his character. Yeah, the way that he almost loses, because that's the Dolph Ziggler way, is to lose. Uh-huh. And just the emotion of it afterwards with him, I swear I think he cries. Along with AJ in that ring that night.
That crowd was hot the entire night, anticipating Dolph.
I can't confirm. I'm looking at the picture of AJ and Big E crying.
So
All right.
I gotta go Dolph too. So I said, I think
I'm
without the
fighting for
run that
Rollins on this one.
without the run
I'm
that
getting
Dolph
outvoted.
had, I don't think we would have had as good of a Rollins run because that was really kind of what built Money in the Bank, kind of like Kat said.
All right, so there's the winner. It's Dolph Ziggler in 2012 when he cashed in on Alberto Del Rio.
I'm here.